Hi all, welcome to Alchemy Within from Out Amongst the Stars. I'm just excited today to do a video for you because it's an important day, June 11th, and Pluto is just gone back into Capricorn. So we've had a little taste of what it's been like as it's been in Aquarius, which happens to be my first house. So we've had yeah, definitely some different things happening over here. um so welcome to my channel, and I just wanted to do a little quick intro with how you could get a free reading, and by commenting below with starting with I am grateful for, and whatever it is you're grateful for, you can be entered into the draw. So then every 44 people, then I will actually pick someone and you can have a free reading. So if you want to also book a reading, you'll see there, or get a coaching consultation for empowerment, emotional empowerment, and or just need some guidance in some sort where I bring in the astrology, you can, of course, email me or visit the website. You can see testimonials there, and you can go to that bit.ly link, and the description will all be in below the video. As well, if you would like an invite to the private Facebook group that I have, where we can share some stories about what's going on with all these different transits, and also I do put in some other information in there. Yeah, just please message me or contact me, and I will I'll send you an invite to that as well. So we'll just move on now. It's been a really impactful week. It started with the Jupiter and in Taurus, which we have a lot of action in Taurus, of course, right now, conjunct the North Node. And that was on the 1st of June. And of course, Taurus, as you can see here, has a whole bunch of activity. And Jupiter, our great benefic, with the North Node, which is our destiny and fate. The Mercury, which is our mind, as well as Uranus, which is the change maker, and what they would say a higher octave of Mercury. Our thoughts and the communication, and of course Uranus sometimes is that sudden, shocking, bolt of lightning information that you often can download, things you just know. So yeah, we have a lot of action in the house of Taurus, and Taurus, of course, is our fixed feminine earth sign, and connects us to our Mother Earth and nature and our feminine parts. It doesn't matter if how you identify. It just has the feminine energy to it, and our five senses. Very much a sensual sign, the one that wants to. If you have a lot of Taurus in your chart, you'll love the feel, the taste, the deliciousness of things, how things look. They have to be beautiful and aesthetic. And delightful sounds and smells are amazing, but it's also the very strong bull, the steadfast, the one that likes the safety and the security and the reliability, and it's very dependable, and also moves at their own pace. Taurus people with a lot of Taurus are like to just are slow to go, and they like to stay in the present reality. And so having the jolly Jupiter in there has probably brought, it depends on which house it is too, of course. You want to see which house that you are being affected by. Of course, this here, it is just a general current chart for the area, which I'm in Mountain Standard Time here. So it's showing in the 10th house, which, if you have that in your 10th house, would be your house of career and the legacy you leave, and how you your public reputation, how you're seen out in the world. So that's a little 10th house tidbit. So getting back to, Jupiter being in here, and having this conjunct the North Node, like just it talks about that expansive growth, something in the bigger picture, something to do with our higher morals and beliefs and good fortune and fun and adventure, and how that destiny is being expanded on, especially in that particular house. So, let's look at, if you come into the community, if you want to, have a little chat in the community, my group, if you just want to contact me and I can give you an invite. We can talk about like what and who came into your life. And that might have been beneficial, starting, this week here and since June 1st, when that transit happened. And of course, the transit has come and gone somewhat, but it's still very, very much in effect, because this chart here is for today, and they're with 1 degree, so that's still very much in effect. And then June 2nd, we had Venus in Cancer. So over here is our Venus, and in the sign of Cancer, which is that very nurturing energy, and Venus is the other benefic, and trining, which is that nice blue line, to Neptune in Pisces. So the dreamy sign, and Neptune is a modern ruler, and that trine, of course, is a very nice, easy, beneficial energy as well. So that, of course, is showing 27 degrees, and the trine here is just kind of coming into that nice placement, and the love and the devotion and the romance and the positivity and the whatever could be healing and soothing and nurturing and doing things that we love, and it'll also help us release old wounds. So that was on June 2nd. Then we're going to move on here to our June 3rd, where we had Sagittarius full moon. That was 13 degrees and 18 minutes. Mountain Standard Time was at 9:41, and so our full moon was of that real nice Sag energy. Now, the interesting part about this particular full moon is there was some themes directly related back to, first of all, December 4th, 2021, when there was a new moon in Sag. And interesting, I went back into my journal and found that was when I got the download in the shower to start this YouTube channel and call it Out Amongst the Stars. So I was like, oh, wow, that's so interesting. Like, I, of course, just take the main notes and journal every day. And so when these things kind of come back around, then you can go back and look. Like, it's so interesting to see how the energies all line up. And it also lined up with September 3rd, 2022. And so there was a first quarter square. And I actually that day finished the final class in one of the programs I took with Heather, and the Astrology Foundations was kind of wrapping up, as well as I was, because I was kind of schooling two things at the same time, in two things, I should say. And I was doing my emotional empowerment coaching practicum clients. So I was writing the final exam for that as well. So again, it's all part of that new energy. And of course, on June 3rd, we were still Pluto in Aquarius. And as I mentioned, like, for me, this is actually opposite. My Aquarius is in my first house. And so it can be wherever you have your Aquarius, you can look at like what house your Aquarius is in. But that was just basically giving us all a flavor of what's going to now come about as we move forward and have Pluto transiting this house. So as I mentioned today, it just went back retrograde. So now you're going to see the little R and it's going to dip back. It moves so slowly. So it's only going to dip back to about 27 degrees here. And then it'll move forward again and it'll dip back for about 40 days later in September in 2024. But for the most part, we're moving next year with Pluto full on into Aquarius. And so we just had a little taste since March. What's been happening? What's been going on? And, we've seen a lot of AI because, of course, Aquarius is about technology and innovation and all, grassroots type movements and people having a little more freedom and all of that kind of thing. So we're just going back into this place of Capricorn where lots of structures and such are happening, so we can clean things up, still shift things, see what's happening. That sort of was a taste of what our new world might kind of look like going forward. And of course, that Pluto's there for 20 years. So I actually I had on that date as well someone reach out that saw me on a live on a astrology immersion, and it was amazing how like all these this was all little hints of kind of what was going to be part of this really exciting Sagittarius full moon. I have a Sag moon myself, so at 10 degrees in my own chart, so that's very close to this full moon. So these interesting, because this was 11 degrees here in September, so it's very, very much was hitting my actual natal moon. So I had some very significant things, and this is how when you see the transits and how they work, what you can see in your chart. And I had also seen, though I was in a job in housing, I could also see how that was not going to fit, and there was just a lot of drama going on with the people there. So there was all these exciting things kind of happening with my schooling part I was doing, and the job that I was doing, there was things falling apart. So that would be, that structured job not working for me, as I need to move into this type of work where I can run my own schedule and do my own thing, and also be available to help you, because it's always been my calling to want to do that and want to help people and be a coach. And I use the astrology to help guide people into their own place of their own uniqueness, and have compassion for themselves, and find where things need to where they need to learn more about themselves and be okay with who they are, and guide you into sort of where your path is going, and sort of what you're put on this earth to called to do, essentially. So anyway, then we'll then go on August 30th. We're going to look at just before this, when Mercury was conjunct my natal Uranus. I woke up, and I woke up to this very vivid sound of a doorbell. Like, I remember it so distinctly. It was like I ran to the door to see if somebody was there. Like, it was so vivid. And when I looked that up, that was my subconscious asking me to wake up. And I believe that, because that I just had that feeling like, oh, that was a significant message that came through my dreams and my subconscious, that there is something that I need to really, really pay attention to, and have opened myself up to these new type of experiences, and also do this kind of thing, which was always a little bit outside my box of comfort, and that's kind of going into that Aquarius energy, right? And the technology. So that's how it showed up for me. But yeah, I'd love for you to join us in the group, and then we can talk about how it showed up for you, because that's such a cool way to learn about the astrology, is through the real stories. So it was also, of course, important to look at where your Sag house falls. And mine, of course, I have my moon there, and it's in the 11th house. But that particular house is, because Sag is so full of, fire and freedom and expansion, and it wants to have more fun and more joy and more bliss and more experiences. And you just have to be, careful. Sometimes you can be over ambitious and promise too much, and can be very, very bold. And because the ruler of Sag is Jupiter, our beliefs and hopes and expansion and optimism, is conjunct the North Node on top of it, then that's, actually something that even exaggerates that even more. And but it also can manifest incredibly lucky and destined things, very fated things for you, and also might have shown up as something that's really calling you to your life purpose and your destiny. So again, I'd love to hear about that. However, that Sag moon also did have a square to Saturn, which is, of course, our responsibility and making us, have a real reality check, and kind of shows us where there might be some more limitations or restrictions, and just knowing that we have to stay grounded while we, are experiencing all these incredibly big Jupiter and fun and exciting energies, and just to make sure we're keeping it real, make sure that doing the right thing, and staying very grounded and understand what's right for you, and respecting yourself and others. So when you're having these really exciting new energies happen, it's also important that we do keep ourselves, you don't want to get too boastful and too big and too much more in the, sometimes more can be too much, essentially. So between that Saturn square and then having that Mars square as well, it it just kind of can help us see where we need to get a little more real about things, and where things, we're taking that action, but we also have to be careful that we're not over promising, and then what can happen is you can under deliver, right? So you'll also want to check where your Gemini house is, which is opposite the Sag. And because Mercury was coming out of shadow from its retrograde, and we'll be able to, maybe have more clarity. I don't know about you, but as a Gemini sun and Mercury, that retrograde was in Taurus, very, very, very hard for my mind. It just didn't want to work in a forward motion. Everything felt really just unclear and hard to move forward in any kind of way, or like any kind of writing or speaking or anything. So this, now that it's out of shadow, there'll be a lot more clarity, and the sun will illuminate a lot of things. So and then we'll have the third quarter Sag moon. So we kind of looked at what happened in the new moon in the first quarter, and then we have a full moon, and we'll have the third quarter Sag moon. We'll see if the theme from around all of this, because of course for me, I was working on all of the things to bring the channel together, and after I had the download, and after I'd finished up all of the practicums, and doing all the classroom stuff, and now it's about the bringing the business to life, right? So we'll see where things are at then by third quarter, which will be in March 3rd, 2024. So that was our Sag full moon. And on the 4th, we had Mercury in here in Taurus, conjunct the Uranus. So that was just, something where we kind of want to look, now that it was fully out of retrograde, which had been in retrograde since May, where, things were now kind of moving forward, and we're now communicating, and adding this, new adventures of the full moon in Sag, and then you add that great awakener of Uranus in there to stimulate your mind, with it conjunct Mercury, because Mercury being the mind. So was there any significant things such as your insights, communication, really sudden, shocking, breakthrough moments that brought clarity? Because Uranus, like I said, is a higher octave of Mercury, and then they do work well together. And like, did you hear some sort of surprising announcement? And also, this is because we were in such, the retrograde, in such difficult kind of forward motion with our mind at that time, especially in that Taurus. Did you find some sort of compromising solution to the problems or doubts, or any where you were stuck or worried, or there was any skepticism, and find something, some sort of breakthrough? But it would be in Taurus, in that very grounded, practical ways. Like, so you have new ideas and beliefs and manifestations with the Uranus, but in that very grounded way. And all of that retrograde action, where we didn't have things kind of moving forward, allows for these light bulb moments, right? And so it's where you can take really inspired action. And so that's, of course, inspired is, also we refer to it as in spirit, and use practical resources. And where's your unexpected revelation? So what did you find out during that time? What sort of came through? What kind of clarity did you have? Again, put in the comments below, or you can join us in our group and talk about that. Or if you're just wanting to try to work through some of this stuff and look at your own chart, we can do that too. You can just contact me. So then on the 5th, we had the Venus entered Leo. So that was, of course, in the Northern Hemisphere. And now Venus will be there until October 8th, 2023. So this is a big deal because Venus is going retrograde. And so it'll be 40 days in retrograde here this summer. And so, this whole theme of Venus and Leo is here. It's here for a long time, right? It's going to be here to stay for a long, long time. And so, of course, I've been pointing in these, but we're looking actually at the transits, just to be clear, that we're looking at the transits, which are around, not so much the signs in here. So Venus will be there for basically 4 months. And it will also be asking you to let go of certain things, and that would be because Venus has been opposing Pluto. And so that is that, transformational planet, right? It's like, what is Pluto trying to show you about your resources, about things to do with, relationships, and things to do with anything that is, even of beauty, like even are you changing a aesthetic? Are you changing a fashion? So it's bringing about some really deep, intense energies, also around our self-value and our self-worth, and sort of what also was feeling like really, really dramatic. That's part of that Pluto transformation that's happening. We just have to find some balance in this particular one. And also we are out, having a trine Mercury. So there will be some more opportunity for our mind to be consciously clear. And we have Venus and Mars hanging out together in this particular, whatever house this Leo is for you. We're going to be looking at, Venus is the feminine energy. Mars is your masculine energy. Where, how is that feeling for you? And also squaring the nodes of fate. We could see some really fated things around, relationships, or, where you want to, like how you feel worthy and how you allow your femininity and your masculinity to balance and, come through together. And how are you showing up in your unique way? I mean, Leo's the one, the sun, the leader, the one that wants to shine, the one that wants to be seen, right? And we have both our masculine and our feminine energy there. How is it that you're being seen out in the world? And what sort of tensions are there with any kind of relationships? And can there be a resolve, because you have that nice blend there together, and how it's going to affect all those areas of relationship, love, your aesthetics, your style, what brings you pleasure, the appeal, your self-worth, and what is your sense of tranquility, those pleasurable things. So June 8th, we had Venus and Leo trining that North Node in Taurus up here. And so again, there's just a lot of things that were coming about that are fated. So it'll be interesting to see how people's lives change. I know how mine has. It's like, oh my gosh, I waited, for something to shift, and nothing was shifting. And then all of a sudden it did. And where it's going to go, I don't know. But, we get to, mine's kind of involving my career. And I kind of decided, what, I'd like to kind of do this. And I sort of went after it. And is it smooth sailing? No, but we'll see how it all kind of comes together, right? And just taking the initiative to make that happen. It's like, how do I want to take my own leadership in my life with my career, right? So here we are, being seen in the lights of YouTube as well. So that's a little different for me, but I'm going to carry on with it, and hopefully, as I'm able to move forward, we can learn some more things together, because I'll be able to share more stories too. And I would love to hear your stories of how things really come about in real life with the transits. It's so cool to be like, oh my gosh, when you go back after you've journaled to see, oh wow, that was the beginning of that, and I see that theme is that day, and then it works its way through in the whole cycle. So June 9th, we had Mercury in Taurus sextile Neptune in Pisces. And again, sextiles is a really easy, nice energy. And it's sort of like, that Neptune in Pisces over here, Neptune in Pisces is that dream world, your imagination, right? That one, it's the oneness. It's the what we can't see in that reality. It's the fishes swimming between the between the realms, and because it's Mercury that's involved in Taurus, of course, that can be beautiful words, beautiful sounds, very essentially like a poet coming through. And Mercury has been in Taurus, because it was like in that retrograde from April 21st to basically to March 14th. And so it was a retrograde April 21st to March 14th. It was in since April 3rd. And Taurus is that very practical sign, the very steady Eddie, and very solid and grounded. And that communication with anybody, even who has a Mercury in Taurus, is very, slow and small bits of information, just keeping it more simple. And it will be there, of course, switching gears here on today, but when it was in that particular sign of Taurus, it's just going to have like a whole different feel than it will now going forward in Gemini. Gemini is just a lot more of a quicker communication style, and it's probably not as simple either, because Geminis have the duality going. So lots of times you got this going and then you switch gears and go there, and stories can be all over the place for that reason too. But there may have been just some really nice writing or thinking or poetic words that came through on the 9th because of that sextile. So what were your dreams? What did you hear that will bring some practicality in your life? What is it that you want, that you've been talking and writing about, that actually can come into reality from the hopes and your wishes and dreams? Like, make sure when you have those energies to work with, you're really looking at your vision boards or bringing ideas together of what you would do for your vision board. Usually we do our vision board sort of in January or in Aries season. That's kind of when they get initiated essentially. But this was a really nice time to go back to those visions and those dreams and think about what was it that you had, and did you get some sort of message in regards to that, right? Mercury in Gemini is the communicator. They're a lot more chatty. So today is the June 11th when it goes into this this energy of Gemini. And so you're going to want to pay attention to what the stories are and how things are more mutable, or there's some duality to things. So you have to really listen to what's being said and also not being said now with that Gemini energy. And, ask follow-up questions. I know when I was listening to Anne Ortley's astrology forecast for the week, she's like, ask follow-up questions. That was a very, and don't assume, because it makes the ass out of you and me, right? Listen to what's not being said. Listen to the nuances and the information that you're receiving, and keep asking so you can get to the root of what it is that you need to know as we move into these fated, destiny energies that are bringing about new things in several different ways for people. I'm sure if we start to talk about what came up for you, it would definitely be something, or there is something potentially coming. But you don't want to just assume certain things. You want to be able to make sure that you are able to get all the information as you move forward. So on June 10th, when the Sun Gemini sextiles Chiron and Aries, that was an opportunity yesterday to kind of shine some light on our wounds and bring about some healing. And so as the Gemini did already move into that the entry into Leo is that's the Venus that's moving in there. But when we have that happening until, of course, October 8th, that's that 40-day retrograde in there as well. So we have a whole bunch of activity that is kind of allowing us to sort of heal and bring in the benefic of that Venus. And the retrograde in there will help us also start to show us what we need to kind of let go of and bring about some more of that healing. And of course, Leo opposing Pluto feel very intense. Like it's can be very dramatic and intense because of the energies of Pluto, and then it being in Leo. And so we also will want to, with it opposing Venus, look at our self-value. Again, that there could be some things that are really, showing up. So it might not feel that easy, but we'll want to get down into the roots of that and just look at where, we might have been being superficial and just learning kind of, to see what's essential, like where are we being and authentic, and with it trining Mercury, we want to bring all of that into our conscious mind as well. So it's just really getting, I guess it's a clarity about who you really are and expressing yourself in the most authentic way that you can be, and being okay with that, and then having the compassion, like that Chiron sextiling the sun. We really want to bring healing to a lot of these things that just are no longer serving us, essentially. And the Venus and Mars will be, also there working the feminine and the masculine energies. And they're squaring the nodes of fate, again, all to do with that, fated energy, and know where you're worthy and can shine in your own uniqueness. And so, is there going to be possible some relationship developing, or some sexual tensions that you can basically resolve with both those Venus and Mars energies, masculine and feminine, and wondering, I'm wondering what it'll bring up in your chart, for sure. Be interesting to see. So here we are, June 11th, as I mentioned. And Pluto's been in Aquarius since March 25th, and it retrograded back like in the wee hours of the morning. So let's have a little chit chat and put in the comments below, or come to the Facebook group, and let's talk about how things have evolved, and what's different, with the structures and the systems, and where were you feeling like you wanted to kind of reinvent your life more grassroots up, because that Aquarius energy is that one that wants to be the individual for the sake of humanity, but also the grassroots up type movement. They don't like the structures and the corporate and the big business. They just want people to be, they're a little bit of a rebel. They want that uniqueness, and where it's kind of that part of you that where you don't fit in, possibly, but yet can find sometimes that community and do better for the collective. And sort of, what was happening with technology, and where were you implementing any technology into your life to help, a new thing that you're starting. Of course, we saw a lot to do with AI and what's happening there. We're going to see a lot of that in our future, for sure. And it's, not going to destroy the world like people are thinking it might. It is just going to be a tool. Like, it'll be a tool that we use. It's not the end all be all. And lots of times, you have to verify what information's coming through. All of this energy with, Pluto can be very intense when it's switching signs like that. You can really feel that. You can feel like it can be very energizing, or it can be very draining. So, how's that been for you? And so, we'll see that Pluto in Capricorn till January 2024, and then it's going to move back into Aquarius. But if there's anything in that Capricorn house, wherever that falls for you, in our world, on in the big picture, of course, it's corporate, big banks, big structures, government, all of the the financial institutions, and the healthcare systems, and all of these big corporations. We'll see some things definitely being transformed there, and getting you know, we've seen glimpses of things, but you know, we'll see a lot more probably come out, a lot more being cleaned up, because we've had Pluto in Capricorn since 2008, and of course that's when there was you know, also like a recession that was in the northern hemisphere here anyway, where it really affected people. And so yeah, for me that Capricorn house is my 12th house too, the hidden house, and what you know, the house of spirituality. And yeah, there's, you know, been quite a story since 2008, that's for sure. And yeah, I'm kind of so thankful for the astrology because I now can see what was happening. So yeah, we've also yeah, come a long way with all these, you know, all these things that are shifting. And of course I'm a Gemini. So a Gemini sun, and Aquarius rising, and then my Sag moon, like I mentioned. So of course I love it. The Aquarius age, it's not like age of Aquarius, but you know, the Aquarius energy is really coming to light now, because it is all of the freedom that I need, and now it's a lot more accepted to be in that, you know, type of energy. And yeah, so my curious Gemini George wants to know what's going on there for you guys. See, let me know what's happening in your houses. And you know, we have the Venus in Leo. It's also squaring Jupiter in Taurus. So the Venus in Leo is squaring that Jupiter in Taurus. And so, you know, we have some really fun, you know, active, beautiful energies, and you know, in square with that big expansive energy. And you know, sometimes it can be a little excessive too. You know, it might be too over the top, right? So with that, I was listening to Alan Boss talk about, you know, how this can show up, and it's just a really nice energy. So he went through and named some of these beautiful things that can happen. You can have a lot of, you know, benefic allies and people that you connected with during that time, and the universe will just feel like you're being more supported, and you're getting kind of a helping hand, and there could be some good fortune and pleasing outcomes and positive turn of events, things that, you know, are happy and feel abundant and harmonizing in your relationships and your money. And the energies like can be a time where you can really compromise, or you can find some way, like if there's been some conflict or discord within certain relationships, you know, whether it's, you know, family or friends or work or what have you, sometimes you can come together and things can really work out in your favor. And there's also can be this, you know, very creative or romantic and attractive magnetic supportive energy there too. And also a chance, you know, where things can be, you know, just and fair and balanced and well organized and beautiful. And there may be some, you know, moral fairness where it felt like it was difficult to have that, you know, justice before. So, you know, you'll also, with that energy, want to watch for anything opportunistic and grandiose or extravagant or too much, and, you know, over promising and seeing something kind of a little bit more through the rose-colored glasses, or getting carried away in the positive feeling so much that you're really like not as grounded and too swept away. So you don't want it to be like too vain or superficial or materialistic. And, you know, where it can also show up as, you know, if there's people in your life that want to kind of be more exclusive, and so, you know, where you might not fit into the club, that energy often can show up, that square with Venus and Jupiter. And yeah, I've seen some of that play out, you know, in my life, in my real life, where people are just kind of have their own little people. And if you aren't part of their people, then they just don't want any association really. It's just, that's just part of it. So sometimes people are like that in their, you know, character. It's not just a passing energy like it is for today, that you might just see in the world around us. But yeah, for the most part, it's gonna be very very, very benefic, and a lot of really nice outcomes that can be brought about with that energy. So that is it. Now I'm, of course, kind of work backwards because I did this on June 11th when all these things are shifting and changing, but there was just so much going on this week. And I felt like I really needed to do a video though for this whole week. And so starting at June 1st. But today was such a big day with the Pluto going back into Capricorn, and then that Mercury trining it right after, and then Mercury going into Gemini. Like it all happened, here basically very, very early in the morning, but just one after another. And can be it'll be a very noticeable shift. And as well as the Venus squaring Jupiter. So if you want to connect with me, if you even just need to talk about things, like I know for my daughter, she just needs to talk things out a lot of times. I'm here to help you. I do my best to really, try to use your chart to help you move through these, difficult energies. But sometimes, even if you just need to talk about what's going on in life, even without bringing in the astrology, I can definitely help. So yeah, and also we can tell some more stories, or you can put some comments below, or start get a chance for a free reading by starting with "I am grateful for," and just say some of the benefic things that might have shown up this week. And so you can email me at dianacanbyfreed@gmail.com. You can also use the information in the description below to use the sign up form, or go to the website and check out any testimonials, and just connect with me, and I'll send you an invite to the group. I just like to keep the group, it's just not open to everybody, to the public, because I just want it to be people who come and join me in this astrology world on YouTube here, and people I read for, and people I coach, and that sort of thing. And we can talk about all the things that have shown up this week, and then we'll see what comes for this next week, and see how things have shifted for everyone. Thank you all for being here, and I'm grateful for all of you to have stopped in and had a little listen, and please reach out. It'd be great to connect. Thank you, and until next time, bye for now.